I think a lot of us learn how to be strong before we ever learn how to feel. We learned how to show up, how to hold everything together, how to carry what nobody else saw. But nobody really taught us what to do with everything we were carrying. This is soft is hard for me, a soft space for hard truths.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Solange. This is Candy. And this is Dia with 50. And this is part 2 of the year of healing of pruning session. So in part 1, we talked about what survival costs us. And in this episode, we're going to dig a little bit deeper. Part 2, we're going to talk about what healing is asking of us once we become aware. Because awareness, naming a pattern, and understanding how you got here is very powerful. But healing cannot stop at explanation. It has to show up in your choices, your boundaries, your standard, what you stop excusing, and then what you stop rehearsing. Healing is not just about what you can explain. It's about what you're willing to practice. What you willing to practice. That's more so and that's really like doing the work. Um and for me that's what it boiled down to. Like I said in the previous episode, like I knew what my problem was. I just didn't know how to work through it because I didn't have the proper tools, which is why I was there. Um so yeah, it didn't like my growth or me starting my journey to healing to identifying, that I was in survival mode to move forward. It wasn't because I understood myself better. It was just it became more real when I started to identify the issue and address the issue sooner. So if I could pinpoint it, I know what I need to do to try to fix it ahead of time. I was not able to put myself in that space. Right. Which a lot of things happen to you because of the situations you put yourself in. Like if you allow yourself to get space, then that's type of thing, something that you don't want to happen is going to happen. So you kind of got to. It's almost like reading the room, knowing where you stand in some instances, and just doing the work of actually digging into the issue. And once you dig into that issue and you sit in this shit, like we've been saying, like you start to realize what fed into those things that put you in. So, like what the triggers were for that survival. And that's the reason why I keep saying, like, I don't like to need therapy from a therapist. Certain things you can recognize in what you do, and then being self-aware, people sometimes think cycle even though they want to preach that they're getting their therapy, helping them, making them aware. Like, but what does it really make them aware of? Because not even really going by routine pattern to change the unhealthy pattern what you have. You mean like you stuck in your ways, like you just accept it for what it is? Yeah, you'll say, yeah, I'm gonna change this, and then a week, 2 weeks later, you're still like, oh yeah, I said I was gonna change that, but I'm just, that's why I'm all right. So I cope with it. I haven't did it in 2 weeks, so I'm making progress. Like, and it is a little progress, but that's why I hate that word. Like, I'm sorry. Like for me, I'm sorry is the action word. So that means you're not going to keep repeating the same thing. You're not going to keep in the same cycle. You get what I'm saying? Like what they're saying, you're self aware. So, okay, I'm sorry for this behavior, but then that means I'm going to change that behavior. Not all at once, because that's impossible.
but at least you're more
Gradually change within, like,
right.
let me, you catch yourself at her.
Right. Like, oh shit. Oh, you okay, okay.
You know what? Let me rethink that. You right, right. Like, I probably could have said that in a better way, but I mean, maybe the way you deliver something can change how people think
Mhm.
versus you just telling them, like, or saying it in a aggressive way where it's like, I hear you, but I don't got time for this.
Right. So exactly. So let's get into what healing actually asks of us. Ooh. What you say?
The word every day. I think it's just asking to look at, like, self-reflect on what you really want to change and growing as a person in the therapy that you're getting. Like, if you're getting therapy through someone, then okay, follow those patterns to where it changes and you can see a change. That person that doesn't go to therapy, well, they are going to, maybe they can use what somebody who is in therapy is doing to help them versus them not being in therapy and it helps them on the outside. Oh, so you gonna learn hard. No, but you just might be maybe in a group setting where like people are just discussing, I'm going through this, I'm going through this, and it just might be a topic that comes up and you express how you came to your conclusion of doing, something to help that change versus how they're going about it and being angry all the time. So do you think you would benefit if you were pro therapy? Not saying you're completely against it, but I would rather do group discussion. I'm about to say, so you benefit more from group discussion. Or well, small, maybe a small setting. I'm gonna take that back. Group is a little much.
Okay.
But that's
But
my
how
opinion.
how naked would you get with your
Like I
group?
said, it depends how well you can express yourself, or if you can express yourself with somebody like a small group where it's like, okay, my truth is what it is. Like they might be like, okay, well that's not mine, but I can relate. That's not how I would go about it, but let me think how I would go about what you just did on how you went about your healing. Like that's how you survive going through this. Okay, I understand. I get it. That maybe I can relate to it. I can understand. I can maybe, take a piece out of what you did, or that I can just I don't know, like make it make it how you would do it instead of how they would.
Okay, so you're saying take a little piece from this, take a little piece from that, and model it together to see. Okay, so okay, I understand because for me, yeah, I'm researching, so I gotta read.
Yeah, I don't research stuff. I mean, I might look at certain things. Yeah, it might come up in your like your
Timeline.
yeah your timeline for any
But
social
even when
media.
okay, so even when it come up in my timeline, before I go too deep in it, I gotta go and do some back scrolls on it and see it. If that makes sense, then okay, yeah, they're coming from a valid place, or because some shit will stick and land you, and other shit that be like, I kind of understand, or I kind of see where they're coming from, but I don't totally see where they're coming from.
But sometimes you can go to somebody who don't even know your background or like any experiences you might have had. Anything like you might not even go to them about no trouble that you have. Like you'll just be like, yeah, hey, how you doing? And it'll just be, well, they might just come off through like them. Like I'm feeling exactly how they're feeling, but I'm not even expressing how I'm feeling. But let me see what they might go through or what they might be going, like what they're gonna do to
So,
help their process.
so okay, for me, the only issue with that would be if we stuck in the same pattern, how can we truly help each other if like neither one of us are doing work or applying? Are we doing or are
One
we
person might be doing the work. You just not might be at that point where you're gonna start that process to do the work too. Like you might like let me give it a few days. Let me give it a week, and then maybe I'll start the process they went through
to kind of move God out, kind of deal with the kind of process, to kind of have that time to figure out what you can and can do in your own way.
To figure out what works for you. Like, so in your mind or in your from your aspect, it's trial and error.
Mhm.
And you just say, okay, well, so and so did this when this happened, so maybe this will work for me too.
I mean, you can see, but you can also tweak it to where, like, I'm not that, but I can see where they were trying to go with.
I guess for me, that route makes it seem like it's more like for me that would be just like me being procrastinating, like I'm procrastinating. Or like I'm too impatient. It's like if I want to change and I know what my issue is, let me go figure out how to get to it if I can't get to it.
Or
Like,
how to start.
yeah,
Well, how
because
you
I'm not.
not doing the same thing as for somebody that was having the same type of issue.
They
But
probably,
they probably did because they get paid for that.
yeah.
Exactly, but you're getting paid to tell somebody the same information.
Okay,
You tell somebody else. But what? Okay, so what? What is your same type of issue? You're just giving them.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm from my point of view. I go to therapy. I get the tools to know how to navigate my issue.
Right.
So journaling my way of my issue, just like somebody could be journaling about something completely different,
Or in
because
a
they got
different manner.
different, yeah, in a different manner, and they may not look at journaling as I do. I look at it as a self-reflective tool, so I can decide what I need to pour my energy into. Because if not, I will pour my energy into everything, and I will be depleted, and I will not be able to show up in the ways I'm able. So that's what journaling does for me. But for somebody else, journaling may just be an outlet, just like things they can't say to nobody else, so they writing it down so they can say it to themselves, or so they can just get it out.
Let's get back to the question. The question is, right? What does healing actually ask of you? What does it ask of you? Right. So okay, you say to be vulnerable. What's your answer? What does healing actually ask of you? Even in the self therapy, I don't go to therapist way. You have insight.
I will say this to be aware.
So self awareness. For me, I think therapy asks of you to, like you said, be vulnerable, be self aware, but it also asks you to be honest. And I think that's the basis of it. Your honesty, not with anybody else. Because fuck what you tell everybody else. It's the conversation you have with yourself. And if you're going to be honest with yourself, because I can say in the beginning, I was not honest with myself. Prime example, and this more physical than the emotional. So prime example is my weight loss journey, right? I look at my pictures now and I'm like, damn, I was fat and I thought I was skinny as fuck. Like, I didn't see myself as being that size that I actually was. Even though I might have been body size 18 teen, baby, I felt like it was 14. Oh, I wasn't being honest with myself. And I kept saying, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that. I would save to work out. I would, think about doing a little exercises, but I wasn't actually doing it. So when I was ready to start healing physically, I had to stop saving and just jump in and start doing. Because what I found is the more I tried to save and prepare, the bigger I got. And then when I stopped trying to save and prepare, and I started to actually do it, and I was honest with myself. When I became honest with myself, I think that was the most realist moment I had in knowing, okay, this is where I gotta be honest with myself. I gotta tell myself the truth. I can lie to everybody else and say, you're saying that 200 pounds. Knowing I'm way above 150. I mean 250. I'm over the 250 mark. But I would say that. But then I'm lying to myself. You get what I'm saying? And if I'm lying to myself, what good am I doing for me? And I was not only for me, for the people around me that's listening to me.
Yeah.
Because if I'm lying to myself, you damn sure I'm lying. I'm not gonna lie to myself and then tell you the truth. But no. Okay. But most times when people are in that dynamic, is it not like a therapy dynamic?
But if they're not,
No, if they're telling you the truth but lying to themselves. Most times that is
we do that when we get the
right. Right. When you go to someone and you ask them the advice, that's a form of therapy. I think my thing is I can help. I realize I can help sometimes, but I can't help all the time.
Mhm.
Even if I have an answer. If I realize you're not ready to hear that answer, I'm not going to. Because all it's going to do is frustrate me.
When I feel like then like that, you're not really giving the truth to that person if you're not. I mean, but what if they not receptive?
Right.
So now you know wasted the energy that you probably didn't have to give in the first place because don't nobody want to hear the good shit straight. Okay, you got it. No, but they you'll tell need to hear it. Sometimes how they should do things, but then if that person come back with how you feel thing to you, I mean, are you gonna be mad?
Uh, but if we're in a conversation about you and you came to me and I know if I know being honest with you would make you have an attitude and it will rupture or fracture some part of our friendship and I know that you're not ready for that too, I'm not gonna give it to you.
Yeah,
Because all it does is it starts building not only does it compound your problem, but then the friendship start having little cracks and fractals in it because I felt like we were close enough for me to tell you the truth. But then when I tried to tell you the truth, I saw you making excuses. I saw you, not owning up. I saw you take no accountability. And the reason why I can name is because I was there. But by me telling you that, you feel like I overstepped my boundary. You get what I'm saying? So being self-aware means to me it's like if I'm self aware, I also know that when somebody tells me some shit I don't want to hear, even if I don't like that shit, my face ain't gonna crack. Like you'll never know that I don't like. And even in that moment when I catch that attitude, what I have learned now to do is why did I catch an attitude about that? I asked for it, or we're having a real conversation, and to them, they could just be giving me constructive criticism, but I got mad at constructive criticism. Why? Because then that means that something in me was triggered. So then I'm going back to, okay, let me sit in the shit for a minute and let me see if this really was about like them teaching me something or trying to teach me something, or was this on some I see you down, I'm write you down, or some bullshit like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the level of honesty that we have with ourselves even shows up in shit like that. Because when we got to be like, okay, why I feel like this? Why I'm mad? Why did that shit affect me that much? And that used to be hard for me to do. Oh my God. That was so hard for me to do because it was like, wow, why am I going to listen to you? Your shit fucked up like me. But that wasn't the right response.
Yeah.
And I wasn't ready to hear what they was willing to tell me. Because sometimes motherfuckers can show light on your mistake quicker than they'll show light and can show light on their own.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So I what was
Well, for me, I guess my issue is that I always want to know how. So, like, if somebody tell me I'm fucking up,
how?
explain to me how, because it may not be on my radar. I might think that I'm blowing this shit out the water. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell me, and I have to hear it from your perspective. Then that puts the responsibility on me
Back on you.
to make the change.
So okay, let me ask you this. When before you got your tool and somebody would do that to you, would you be able to take it? Or would you take it because you ain't gonna show that shit ain't affect you, but it bothered me because bitch, how the fuck dare you tell me that my shit stank and I know I am to me I'm doing top notch.
I think, well, before I got the tool, I ain't getting
Mm.
like you can sit here and tell me whatever. Okay, it stink. And what? It's food. That's just what it is.
Oh, shit. Right.
But when I got the tools, I had to realize too that nobody's perfect.
Right.
So I was able to accept my faults, own them,
Yeah.
sit with them, and then decide if I want to turn that fault into a triumph or just get rid of the fault. Again, getting rid of those bad habits.
Right.
Because I'm not being honest, people don't always justify their behavior.
Oh.
They always gonna find a way to justify it.
Yeah.
Same way people do with certain religions. They find ways to justify their beliefs.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. That's who we are as human beings. But I used to be the type to where like, all right, you can tell me I'm an asshole. That's fine.
Right.
I'm nice too. Two things can be true at once.
At once,
What you want
yeah.
me to say? But now it's like, oh, you an asshole. Well, how? Because I do this, and this. Yeah, but you're not doing this, and this. And it's like, all right.
So, okay, when they say you're not doing this, and that, right?
Hmm?
When they say you're not doing this, and that, how do you look at that shit? For real. Like, how do you, wait, I'm gonna ask that first. How do you look at it? When they say, okay, so you have a respectful conversation,
Yeah.
and he's saying, like she said, you're da da da, and you say, how? How? Tell me how I'm not. And they say, well, yeah, you do X, Y, Z, but you don't do A, B, C. How do you take that?
You might be offended, but I feel like that's how I feel about it. I mean, if you come off that way, that's how you come off to me. You might not come off like that to somebody else, but if I know you and I can tell like in certain ways where certain facial expressions or certain like how you standing come off as so you getting mad at what I'm saying.
Right.
But if you tell me my truth, I'm supposed to just okay, all right, you know what, you're right. I'm supposed to agree with you if that makes you feel better. I'm gonna agree to
Okay.
disagree because I'm not gonna agree with you, but if that's okay, you agree that that's right. We gonna just
So you agree to disagree. I'm going to disagree.
I'd rather
How
be
you
like
feel?
that than not have it all like it all one side. Yeah, because then you can go that way and nobody right.
So would you say you shut down?
No, I calm myself into I'm gonna let it be because if I take it further, it's gonna go to where you don't want it to go, and then it's gonna be something that's said that you don't want said because it's gonna be taken like, oh, that's how you feel. Well, if that's how I feel, why you don't get mad? That's how I am expressing that. That's how I feel about it. Don't get mad. Just if that's how you feel, even if it's hurt, even if it's pain, if that, I mean, I'm seeing how you feel. I don't feel that way. Maybe the guard is there. I'm sorry, my survival is having that not that fall, but having that. 'Cause, I mean, I'm sorry, I express my feelings in a sometimes. I mean, I don't give a fuck type of way. I mean, yes, you might feel that way, and I'm sorry you feel that way, but that's how I'm expressing how
Okay, so when you're healing and you come across that, what would you do differently than you would do before you had the conversation? Before you,
and say things in a calm manner versus feeling like you have to be upset over it or defend yourself.
how would you do it, Blood?
First of all, I would approach it as a learning that I don't look at people telling me my faults as something bad. I don't look at it. I don't look at it as something that's necessarily set in stone either, because just because you may think it's a fault of mine, somebody else might look at that as one of my strengths.
Superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's all in perception, and it really depends on the person that I'm talking to. Because somebody from the outside looking in can tell me that I mistreat her. And I know that's false. But if she tells me that I mistreat her, I'm more invested. I want to know how. Like, why do you feel that way? What am I doing or not doing that's making you feel like you're not well taken care of or that I'm harming you in some kind of way?
Yeah.
Because again, I may not be privy to it.
Right.
Because so many other things are going on.
Right.
But that's not to say that I'm gonna fix it right away. Because again, I'm not perfect. And I've found out that if you strive to be perfect, you will be in this cycle and you will be exhausted.
Exhausted.
I don't want
Perfection is impossible.
But okay, so
I expect to be told that I'm lacking somewhere.
I okay, so I used to, but I didn't used to strive for perfection. Like I wanted to be perfect in those people I cared about. I like for me, if you had a doubt about me or you didn't feel like I was up to par, I need to know how and why. And then that was a part of my people pleasing though. And I didn't know what was saying there at the time. Because I needed to know how and why. And then I'm trying to change it to what you're saying, even if I might not agree with that. You get what I'm saying? So I took their words and that can be a form of manipulation when you're really in a space to heal where you're taking what this person said and trying to modify yourself because this is what they're saying, this deep in you, and you're thinking, okay, I'm doing this to be right. I'm doing this for everyone to be happy or me and this relationship to be better. But why you trying to make that feel better or that person feel better or that relationship better? You're not healing yourself because now you're just going from one thing to the next. I'm going to do it like this. And then if they decide, oh, that's not what I want, that's not how I want to do this, then it changes again. The goalposts keep moving.
So you always feel like you can never satisfy someone, or you always feel like you're inadequate because everything is changing.
All the
You
time.
can't keep up with it because it's the hard work you have to do to fix the change one way. You got to do twice as hard to forget that and then learn
do it
something
again
else.
because you think about it.
But at the same time, if we go back to the question of what is it ask of us? It's simple, just to put yourself first, because that embodies everything, right? So when you sit here and you think about the situations and you think about what can happen, or if, say, for instance, you get into it and somebody's telling you where you lack it, you have to decide if you want to make the change to stay relevant in their life, or if making those changes are going to affect who you feel you should be and
Who you
feel
strive to
comfortable
be.
being. Yeah. If that's going to affect that, then you have to make the choice. Do I want to change for this person or stay the same for me
myself.
and lose that person so I can continue on my path?
And that's a real thing because think about it. Think about this your friend circle within the last couple of years. If you have really been doing the work, your friend circle has changed.
And it's
And
easier to
sometimes
let
it's
go.
drastic. It's a drastic. And you look up, shit, ain't nobody there. But it's because, like we said, it's easier to let go now. Now I don't have no problem letting go because I'm choosing me over whatever else. When you're people pleasing, when you're looking outside for self validation, when you're looking outside for love, when you're looking outside for shit, damn near everything, approval of any sorts, right? It's a form of self abandonment. We abandon ourselves. That was the hardest fucking thing for me to admit.
Like it's like you hurting yourself to make somebody.
And then when you realize you doing shit and you continue in that cycle.
And then you blame yourself when stuff start happening because it's just like the shit I'm allowing it. Like,
I knew I did right. And the only reason why I understand that is because I realized that with the name you shall not name. Like I realized right. him who should not have spoken of it. Like, I realized that I was doing a lot of stuff abandonment to be something to someone who I would never, I would never be enough for.
Mm-hmm.
I would never, it would never be where, how can I say it? It'll never be where they'll be like, okay, you have done all this, and that, and we good, and you good, and I'm fully satisfied. That is a hard fucking thing to navigate. Yeah. Because when you love somebody, it's hard when you love somebody and you've loved them the wrong way for so long, because to start loving them the right way, which means you putting up boundaries, you saying no, you're not allowing certain things, you know what that comes with. And that's gonna come with the end of something that you might have been, you wouldn't have it if it was the place that it was comfortable. It was the devil you knew. You get what I'm saying? And that shit is a reality that nobody really talk about in the healing journey. When you really feel like, when you really realize I've been abandoning myself for a motherfucker who wouldn't think twice about abandoning themselves with me. Mm-hmm. That's hard. Because then it's like, oh shit. Hey, to have that aha moment, that's a fucking slap in your face.
That's the day you want to sit with yourself and be like, okay, what the fuck I'm gonna do about this?
Right.
That's the reason why this shit is still going on. And it's kind of cliche, but there is the truth to it. You know, people only do to you what you allow.
Man, come on.
But at the same time, you don't have control over nobody else.
No.
Because if you knew what somebody else was gonna do to you, if you
Every
could
time.
foresee it, every single time you do everything in your power to get it because you don't want to feel that.
But do you really? Or do it's like you keep letting shit slide and you keep letting, you know how they say, you give it in, you give them an inch, they take them out. Now I gotta choose me. I gotta stop stuff abandoning myself. That shit is like,
And then you could do for that because then it's like, oh, you selfish. Oh, you telling me no, but you don't never tell me no. You usually figure this part out, you know. And then you start to feel bad.
and you fall back in that.
Yeah, so it's the continuous cycle. And then I mean, I seen it growing up, like with my mom. Oh yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave. Been saying that for 2, 3 years, but then it finally gets to the point that I always tell people you gotta do tired.
Oh God, my dad.
You ain't tired enough, you ain't gonna go. Know that.
Oh, I used to hate when you say that shit. You're like, you're not literally so tired. And you say, and you tell me, and you're gonna know you're tired because it's gonna be absolutely nothing that's gonna you're gonna want that's gonna make you want to stay. And when I had that revelation and I left my ex husband, I had literally took my taxes in and refurnished the whole fucking house because we would file separate. So, and I would file a kid so I get the most money. I walked away from everything. The only thing I took was my clothes and my kids to be gay. That was it. Everything else you can have because I'm done. Like I've been here, I've tried it, I've exhausted all these possibilities to make you happy, and yeah, you ain't with the shit. So I'm with the shit. I'm done. I'm bye. You know, goodbye. That that's a hard place to get to when you're in relationship, whether it's in a love relationship or in even friendship. We will hold on to fucking friendship knowing this shit is no longer benefiting us. Like when you know, and when I say benefit, you know, I'm not talking about like using them or anything like that. It's like we're on two different paths now. I'm elevating my consciousness and you don't want to pick up a book.
Either
You don't want to.
Either that, or I'm putting forth the effort to make sure that we can, like, we always try to link or try to talk, and it just don't never happen.
And it never happened.
And it's a reason for that.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now, let's set up with how you're being treated as a person. Ooh, okay. So let's go into that, right? Because that brings us into the conversation of boundaries. And everybody hates the word boundary when when you abuse motherfucking boundaries. You get what I'm saying? When you say that, what does that look like?
Don't try to help people treat you as a person.
Right. Right.
But they feel like, no, like, oh, you're supposed to be giving me this. You're supposed to be as my friend. You're supposed to be there to hear my problem, to come when I need to come. But if that's not being reciprocated, then you feel a certain way. So you do get tired. You just have that boundary set to where it's like, okay, I'm gonna back off. And then if they notice, it's like, okay, oh, so you don't come around no more. Okay, well, yeah, because do you come on my side?
So do you have that conversation? Oh, well, first, have you ever had to do that?
Yeah.
Do you have a conversation with them or do you just stay black?
Um, I've both.
I'm gonna say the black because
Who it is.
okay.
Be invested in that person, it goes to that extent. Because if I'm giving you that time and I can get that back, even after, it's like, okay, like if other people notice, that's a problem. I'm just like, you as a person, you're giving that, the person who is abusing the, that person, then, I mean, if you don't cut it off at some point, they just gonna continue because they can't.
Right.
They
So I don't even most times I don't have a conversation. Most times I'm just gonna fade the black.
The
No, I
and the, oh, you show up, you show up, you show up.
yeah.
Hey, you going, oh, I can't make it. Oh, I can't make it. Oh, okay. Then you stop asking.
I just
Oh, you ain't invited me? No, you're always busy. I wouldn't want to impose.
okay, so I
I'm just saying, like, you have,
I'm not one that I'm not gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna just cut it because once I get to that capacity of I'm done, it's been a long time coming. And if you ever want to have a conversation, we can have it. But I'm gonna come up with speak because I'm not one of those people who after one time, two times you did this, then that's it. You have exhibit this behavior repeatedly. And it might not have been a habitual. Like you are a habitual offender. Like you don't give a fuck. And we can have conversations, or maybe we shouldn't. At this point, I feel like we shouldn't even have to have a conversation because hey, I've been in your life long enough. You're gonna notice the switch up. Even when I become more, let's say, evolved, or if I start like going inward and seeking higher consciousness, you're gonna notice that. If you really my friend and we really have that energy. You get what I'm saying? You're not even gonna ask me to do certain things because you know that's no longer within my wheelhouse. Like I don't want to participate in that. I don't want to. But what about when they can't read the fucking room because they're not paying attention
well,
to
that's when there's self-awareness. Like, okay, well, I mean, just to remind you, I mean, there's someone else in the room. You're not by yourself.
right.
Who are you talking- If you're talking to me about your problem,
Okay.
who else can give you an answer?
So you do have the conversation.
I mean, I've had a conversation, yeah, with a certain person.
How did that go for you?
It was
Like when you walked away. Yeah, when you walked away.
you do what you have to do, and when you feel like you're ready to commit to be in your life, then that's when I'll be in your life. Because what I don't agree with how you let in your life or the choices you're making. So
Right.
if that choice don't involve, or that's not the energy I want to be around because it's really negative, but you want to keep that negative energy in your life and your face, I'm gonna remove myself from that energy because I can't be.
So
That's
you
gonna
have a conversation.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't.
Oh,
I'm gonna do.
but you I mean being too nice about it and not having a conversation, they still gonna treat you.
If you no longer have access to me, you can't treat me like shit. When I fade to black, it's me not answering your phone calls. It's me waiting days to return your text, if not ever returning your text. It's me like I've had enough time because I've had to do this not too long ago, and it was me realizing that anytime that person needed me, I was always there for them. But I can't name a time that they were really there for me. You get what I'm saying? Like in the capacity, the farmer, right? So when you start realizing that, and you realize, all right, we're not moving in the same spaces no more. And yeah, life changes things, but now I'm more aware of what I give my energy to. So if I realize how much, and I go back and I realize how much energy I gave you as my friend, and how many times you called me and didn't get to do it, and I jumped up and did it, but I never could get that same energy from you, I'm good. I'm a fade to black. We won't have to talk no more because I realize our energy exchanges isn't the same. Our value of friendship isn't the same. Because the way I value friendship obviously ain't the way you value friendship, because we wouldn't have to have
like certain things. I guess maybe for that person, like, but okay, well, I see you on your journey, but I mean, I'm not there where you are, but I'm
right.
gonna support you in it. Like you can still have that support of their journey, but not agree with how they may have go about their.
But then that's the friendship. That's when you know the friendship is real, because okay, for me, it's not hard. It's just like religion now. I can respect somebody else's religion and their thought process. But 9 times out of 10, a religious person cannot respect a spiritual person's process and their thought process towards religion. So it either becomes a battle where you engage and argue with this person because they're saying, no, this text say this X, Y, Z, and you're like, nah, I don't believe in that, whatever, whatever. Or you trying to encroach on them to get them to see a bigger picture. You get what I'm saying? I don't feel the need for it. How you believe is how you believe. That's up to you. That's not it does not affect how I believe. But when you start trying to push your shit on me on what you believe in and how you believe, that's when I have a problem. So let's apply that to friendship. We are on two different journeys, but we're still friends. You're not where I'm at, but we still talk, we still connect. There is there is a balanced energy exchange. When it's not balanced, because even though I'm on my spiritual journey, I still reach back and I can talk. You still have access to me whenever you want. But when I need access to you, you don't have it. You're busy, or you going this place, and it's not about going this place or going that place. It's even when you come back from that place, you don't reach out to say, hey,
Well, that's kind of who it is. Like who that person who you feel like is supposed to be that friend that's gonna be here for you. If they showing, yeah, I'm not gonna make it this time, but I okay, at least that effort is being giving you that. I'm not gonna make it every
yeah.
day, but I am gonna try and make it work.
But that's if you're invested in the friendship. When
Yeah.
you stop being invested in the friendship, do you still try and make it?
Hell, look,
You can, if not,
you ain't gonna rearrange your plan.
Right. Right. Right.
You ain't gonna stress yourself out to make it. Like in the past, we've shown up for friends during our big moment because we didn't want to take away from their big moment. And we dog ass right. Like been up 24 hours trying to make sure we make it. Getting 2 hours of sleep and driving back another 6 hours so we can make it to work on time.
Mhm.
And that's the sacrifices we made for friends and friendship that we were fully invested in. But once we realized that energy wasn't being reciprocated, oh, I got an event coming up. All right, if we can make it, we'll be there. And then we talk about it, like, you really want to go to that? No, 'cause we can go do this weekend. Then we start. It makes it easier for us to put ourselves first instead of just being a yes woman. Like, yeah, we'll be there, and always getting that those friends to show up for everything, even though you just keep concerned about you. talking shit about us 2
Mhm.
weeks ago, but we still
Mhm.
showing up. So then it changed from that to, all right, we ain't gonna go out our way. We can make it, and we bored, and we just want something to do. We'll
We'll
go.
do
But
it.
if we chilling for the weekend and fuck it, we ain't doing it.
All right, so we discussed relationship boundaries. Friendship. Let's get to family because that you gotta have boundaries because certain people have cross boundaries, so you gotta. I mean, that's a different thing to me. I mean, you ain't around that person. It's I don't think like I ain't seen you. I ain't gotta bother with you. That's you're out of my presence. You're out of my space. So you
So
remove
for
yourself
you, it's out of sight, out of mind.
for certain things and certain people. It just depends. Family. What about you, Celeste?
Boundaries for me, for family, I control the boundaries by what I divulge because everything is everybody, family. Because if I tell them about every little single argument that we been there, they gonna start to hate that girl.
Right.
Then every time she come around,
They got an
they
attitude.
come this bitch.
And
I
I'm
don't
like,
even
I
know
don't
why you
care.
married her.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying? But it could be something that I would forgive her for, but on their list, that might be a deal breaker. So
Yeah.
it's just like, even though their opinion shouldn't matter in our relationship,
Right.
their family, it's going to matter.
Sometimes
So-
family will leave you the wrong advice. They don't
True.
take care of themselves.
So that's when you, that's
not
when
the best
you,
relationship they, go off of. They can't. Okay, so for me, with boundaries with family, what that looks like, I control the access. I control when I want to show up. And sometimes that's simply because I know that once this event is over, I ain't gonna talk to you for a good 3 months after this. So,
Or
right,
we
couple
gonna sit
years.
here at this event and we gonna talk about all the stuff we used to do and what we need to start doing again,
And then once you leave it,
that's
that was
it.
That was it. That was it.
I
That's
don't
it.
even
That's all.
get a hate cussing on,
Yeah, on social
happy
media.
birthday, bitch.
Right. Right. So for me, it's controlling the access to me. And a lot of times when I'm controlling access to me, is me just not being around. It's me not being around. Now, if something goes down, I'm there for those moments. But if and I'm 45 now, if I've tried to um make a relationship work and it hasn't, I'm not gonna keep chasing that relationship. I'm done with it. I love you, but I can love you from a distance. You get what I'm saying? I'll show up for you when I can show up for you, just the same way you show up for me when you can, or if you want to show up for me. But a lot of times we are in families, and I've seen it in my extended family where we don't know how to set boundaries. Sometimes even with our own kids, that's a hard one for parents, especially if there are parents that gave that, and that child isn't appreciative, or they're not growing the way.
They feel entitled.
Right, they feel entitled.
That just goes back to people only treating you the way you allow them. Because you open the door for that. Because in your mind, you think you're protecting them and helping them not feel what you felt
What
as
you
a
felt,
child,
yeah.
but not realizing that because you went through that, you knew how to navigate enough to where you can try to help them prevent the same thing from happening, which is again something you don't have control of.
Right,
And all it's gonna do is make you stress because, like, okay, I did this to stop this from happening, and I did that, but it still happened. You know why? Because it ain't you that's going through.
right,
And sometimes you gotta as parents, we gotta let our kids go through some shit.
yeah. And that's a hard one.
It is, and do the whole tough love thing because I in one instance with our son, I just be like, man, fuck that, we ain't doing that. Da, 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 da. But then if he panic about something, I'll offer. He
Yeah,
gonna take it, but I'll offer. Even after I just went on a rant about how reckless and dumb it is because nobody wants to see their kids suffer, whether they
Mhm.
grown adults or young children.
Right.
But in some instances, you have no choice but to let them suffer because what you going?
So I was one of those parents who always wanted to take the hurt from my kids because my childhood was so bad. And I saw so many things and I had to grow up bad in a lot of, especially after the age of 12. When they got older, um, I realized, fuck, I overprotected them. So now I gotta scramble to get them to this place because they're about to be out in this world. And I haven't allowed them to experience certain shit because I knew how it affected me as a child. But the difference was they didn't have a mom like me there because my mom wasn't there, nor was my dad. So they didn't have a parent there to help guide me. But I didn't see it like that. It was, okay, I don't want you to feel it because I know how I felt going through it. And these kids these days is a lot more sensitive than we were. Like they don't handle the shit that we handled growing up. We have names for it now, but getting your ass beat with a switch or with a belt out in the shower, that was an ass whooping. That was an abuse. It's hard. It because you don't want to see your child or you don't see your sister or whatever go through it, but it goes.
But see, that's why I'm glad that Candace allowed me to step in and her son the way she did because a lot of it because I knew with some of like the pain that it would cause, I was able to give him a choice. I was able to communicate with him and be like, hey, you know what? This can happen if you do that. So now you preparing yourself to have to deal with this. So whatever you choose, you deal with it. And all I'm gonna do is say I told you so now. I tried to warn you. And you chose to go down that path. Because if I'm making all your decisions for you, you're gonna be living under people the rest of your damn life. I'm gonna be raising you and your significant other and your kids. You see what I'm saying? So in order to I didn't want to teach him independence in the way that I learned it.
Right.
Because I was forced to learn. I gave him a choice. We gave him choices.
So
look at him. Yeah. We gave him a choice.
Right.
To be independent. Choose what you want to be independent at and what you want to rely on.
Right.
And another part of that is from me doing therapy and taking the tools because I had to learn how to ask for help.
Oh fuck.
Because
That's hard.
I'm telling you, like
That's
if I can't
hard.
do it myself, I don't need to be doing it.
Right. That's hard.
I had to learn how to ask for help. Like and I'm still a little
Shaky.
Yeah, because if my
You
money
said you got
if my money tight, I will budget to a T so I don't have to ask her for nothing. But when I do have to ask her, I feel like shit having to ask her. She don't know that because that's something I'm working on.
Right.
But then, so me asking her would be like, "Hey, man, I kind of misbudgeted a little bit. Can I hold $30? I'm gonna give it right back to you when I get paid."
Right.
And she'd be like, "Poop, you ain't got to give me that. Just here."
Right. Okay. So for a single woman, and I can only speak as a single woman, for a single woman and dating, it's hard for me to act. And when I say it's hard, but it's hard for me. Like in dating, like you guys have each other. In dating, you don't have, but in dating, you don't have that like how Celeste came in and was like with Bernard with you and stuff like that. When you're dating, you don't have that. So no, but what I'm saying is
when
you got right.
I stepped in and I didn't be like, "Oh no, that's your responsibility."
Right.
Like, that's on you. I ain't asked for all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that a lot of men are like that, but you have men who are like that. Or not even just like that. Like, I don't want to ask for help. Like, it makes me look like I'm weak and I shouldn't be dating if I gotta ask for help when these are my kids that I'm raising.
But what if you don't have to ask and they just do?
I've had that.
Will you accept it?
Atlanta was hard at first because he came in with hey, you got kids, you need help, you know,
Mhm.
da da da. And I felt like shit having to allow him to be a man and wanting to help me with children that was not his. And we have real that was not his, and he wanted to come in and help take care of them. You get what I'm saying? And help, even though he was in their faith and they're like he was never in the home with us or anything like that. He still made sure we were good. Even from a distance, he made sure we were good. So, but that was hard for me. And he could never understand why that was so hard for me. But it was like, this is my responsibility for met you. And I don't want you to think I'm one of those females, because you got some that I'll date you simply because you make my life easier. I didn't want him to think that that's what this was about. You're making my life easier. So I genuinely am invested in this relationship and us. But to take your help is hard. Now, he would get on me and we'll have conversations. Fucking therapist. No, he kind of knew what I was feeling before I would even tell him about situations like that. But it was like he would walk me through it. First time that we decided he could meet the children, that was hard as shit for me because my kids only been around their dad. So it was, we were going to go to a restaurant. I'm going to come up after y'all get settled, and then that'll be the end. Talk for a little minute. I'm not going to date time because that's all time. I'm going to go. That was different. And not only was it different, it was, I had to learn what it felt like to not have to rely on myself all the time. That I had somebody there that I could rely on, but it was hard. Asking for help was fucking hard. For me to even let him know I had some shit going on was hard. The only way he would really know is because my attitude and the way I talk. And I could be trying to mask that shit like a motherfucker, but somehow it was seeping through. That was that was rare in this climate. And we're talking years ago, like 10, 10 years ago. But even then, that was rare because men weren't trying to come in and be like, okay, yeah, I see you a single mom, independent. I'm going to help. I'm going to step in. I'm going to help you financially, even though these not my kids, because he had them. So he didn't have to come in and be that way, but he chose to be. It was hard for me to accept that. It's hard for me to ask for help now.
So, that wraps up part 2 of our mini-series. Stay tuned for the bonus episode to see how we pull everything together. This is Soft is Hard for Me, a soft space for hard truths.
Same time, same place, same space.
Till next time.